follow that up. Glad you guys are all here. I've known Leora since she started. She started in the Salem office where I work. I'm Mike Reynolds out of the Salem office. And she started out as a senior administrative assistant and in the Salem office there. And we quickly realized, and she mostly quickly showed us the additional talents that she had. And we knew that we had somebody special, right from the start. So she quickly moved on to helping us with proposals and marketing efforts. And I was thinking back over the last few days, and I don't think there's been a proposal I've worked on since she took on the marketing efforts for us that Leora didn't leave the marketing side of it. So yeah, it's going to be quite a loss going forward. Haley, I really look forward to working with you, but you've got big shoes to fill.
No pressure.
No pressure. So yeah, Leora is definitely going to be greatly missed, and yeah, I just remember all the late nights that we had trying to get these proposals out, and she was just always the perfectionist. She wanted to make sure everything's right, and there were so many times that the group of us would be working, and then we'd leave thinking, okay, it's good. And this was maybe 10 o'clock at night, and I'd wake up the next morning with emails from her where she had continued on, picking up things and letting us know things we needed to change. And yeah, she was amazing. So anyway, we have a memory book that we pulled together, and Leora touched people across the company. So she was the Oregon region marketing manager for transportation. But she helped out in California. She helped out in Denver and Puget Sound, in everywhere. So we have comments and pictures from people all across the company that got into this. So we want to give you a copy of that. And yeah, he's definitely going to be a miss. So. I know you want to say a few things later. We'll get you back up here, but yeah, thanks.
I got a funny story.
Oh, yeah.
I want to tell you guys how we met, because it's kind of a funny story. Can you guys hear me? Leora and I met 16 years ago. It was before Facebook, before eHarmony, and farmersonly.com. Just back in the good old days of Yahoo personal ads. And from what I remember, she didn't even write the ad. I think a friend of hers wrote the ad. Anyways, we talked a few times through email and talked a few times through phone calls, and we sent each other our pictures and decided we weren't ugly, and so we decided to meet up. And we met at this Italian restaurant, and I was sitting there waiting for her to come in, and there were several girls that came in that kind of looked like Leora, but I would stand up every time, and when they walked right by me, it was a little confusing because I didn't know whether she thought I just wasn't who I said I was, and she just kind of kept walking. But when she did come in the door, it was like we already knew each other. And we sat down, and we started talking about just the things you talk about when you get to know somebody. And commute traffic in California and the Bay Area is absolutely horrible. And so we began to talk about things like our commutes and whatnot. And so she was recounting what she would do on her commute. She's like, well, if I go and see Hank, let's see, I go and see Hank and then I go home. And she says, when I go and see Hank, I'd be there anywhere from a half an hour to an hour. It depends on whether I'd ride him or not. And I started thinking back at the personal ad that I responded to and wondered what section I was under. But we continued the conversation, and I pretty much didn't hear much after she said after that. So I was just thinking, I went, okay, finally I said, okay, who's Hank? And she said, well, that's my horse. And I was like, oh. So that's how we started our relationship.
So I think
Well done, brother.